Hey y'all, so I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about how the narcissist consumes your time, your energy, your thoughts, your money, your resources, your health, your patience, your love, your kindness, your efforts, your personality, the essence of you, everything. They're like human vacuum cleaners. And one of the things that they have a tendency to do is isolate you from family members, from friends. They ruin relationships. And they do this on purpose because they want to have you all to themselves. And the reason for this is because they want to have control. They want to have you in solitude so that they can do whatever, however, whenever, and however much they want with you and to you. I remember when the narc and I first got engaged, one of the things that he wanted to do was not give the engagement time. You know, most people, they get engaged and they wait a year and then they get married. Or they wait 2 years and then get married. Or even wait 6 months or 8 months or whatever time and then get married, right? They give the engagement time because you want to use this engagement time to get to know each other a little better, to understand each other a little better, to get used to each other, to learn each other. Well, this narc, he didn't want to do that. He wanted to get married right away, like today. So when he proposed to me like 80 times and I turned him down, but the one time that, and I'm so embarrassed to share this with y'all, but I have to share this because this is a part of the ministry. This is a part of my testimony. And this is a part of me helping people to heal. And this is a part of my healing journey as well. It's telling the truth and shaming the devil. Okay, so let's tell the truth and let's shame the devil. Okay, so he proposed to me like 80 times and I turned him down all those times. But one time we got together and we both got drunk, or at least I got drunk. And I didn't ask him to marry me. I just said, okay, let's get married. And he agreed. And that was the agreement. And we got married. But when we became engaged, he didn't want to waste no time. He wanted to get married right then. He didn't want to take time to get used to being engaged. And he said if we didn't get married right then he didn't want to get married at all. That was the pressure he put on me. And me being young, dumb, and naive, I agreed. Because in the back of my small, low self-esteem mind, I didn't think I was going to get anybody any better. And you know, the father of my child, he was in prison at the time. He had just recently got locked up. And I so bad wanted to move on from my son's father because I was heartbroken, I was hurt, and I needed something and someone to just help me to move on. And so my fiance at the time, the narc, he put that pressure on me for us to get married right away. So when we were engaged, we were only engaged for literally about a week at max. Like 3 to 7 days. That's how long we were engaged, about a good week. And he told his mother about it. She got excited. They held our wedding in her front yard. It was a beautiful wedding. Don't get me wrong. My family came and supported us. My father, my foster dad, he married us. But to make a long story short, he didn't want to give the engagement time. So that was already him consuming me then, just by him putting the pressure on me for us to get married right away. And then after a few years of us getting used to each other, he never really participated in my family events. He always found an excuse or a reason to be separated from my family, engage with his family, which was selfish as heck, but that was him, you know. He never wanted to mingle around my family members. He got to know my 2 younger brothers, but he never really put any major effort into having a relationship with them. He spent all my money. He ruined my credit. He took up a lot of my time, energy, and it was to the point where my prayer life wasn't consistent. My relationship with God was not consistent. I was off and on with my prayer life, and I was off and on with my relationship with the Most High. So I was always broke. My credit was shot. My prayer life was, like nearly obsolete, and it was inconsistent. Like I would be on, off, on, off. I was never really happy because he always said things to me to make me upset, angry, or frustrated, or he would do things to embarrass me. He had a tendency of doing things to humiliate me in front of his family to try to teach me a lesson. And he loved that. He loved to humiliate me and then turn around and make me feel as though he loved me so much from the bottom of his heart. So he consumed my feelings. He consumed my thoughts. He consumed my finances. He consumed my credit. He consumed my time, energy, and effort. He consumed my relationships. He ruined my relationships so that I couldn't have an outside source to talk to or somebody to vent out to. So he ruined all my relationships. He consumed my motherhood. Like in a previous video I explained, he was really good at making me feel like I was a stepmom to my own children. So he consumed my motherhood. He consumed my parenting. He consumed even me being a wife to him, because he did all the cooking. And then he would go to his family and tell them that I'm lazy and I don't cook. But how am I lazy and I'm the only one working two jobs, or a whole job at that? So how am I lazy and I'm the only one working and paying bills? That didn't make sense. So I'm lazy because I didn't cook, and I'm lazy because you always volunteered to cook on purpose to try to make it seem like I was a lazy woman. Foul, So he consumed my job as his wife. He consumed my job as my children's mother. He consumed my job as my son's mother, my son outside of our marriage. He consumed me and my son's relationship. He consumed all the time that I was trying to put into finishing school. He's the reason why I never finished school. I remember there was a time where I had a timed test to take, and my daughter, she was about maybe 3 or 2 months old, and she was screaming. And he knew that I had to take this timed test, and he came into the room on purpose with the screaming baby and put her in her arms and said, "Here," like as if, you need to handle her. I don't care about you taking a timed test. He did not care about me wanting to accomplish educational goals. He did not care about me wanting to accomplish career goals or financial goals. So he consumed my education. He consumed my finances. I remember there was a time where I wanted to pick up a job in Seattle, and I had put in the application. I applied. They actually called me in for an interview. I never ended up going because he didn't want me to go. And he got on the phone with his mom trying to convince me that it was a terrible idea for me to go. And I can't remember every single detail verbatim, but he was able to get me to not go to this interview in Seattle. And we were living in Arkansas at the time. And he got it so that I couldn't make it to this interview, and he pressured me and intimidated me and talked me out of it. So he consumed my career options. He consumed my finances. This man consumed every aspect of my life. I had no happiness. I had no savings account because he always was spending my money. Every joint account we had, It never stayed open for too long, and it was never stable because every time he put money in the account, he would take it out and spend it like a day later or a couple days later. The money would never really stay in there. So he consumed our joint account as husband and wife. This man consumed everything. And I'm surprised that we were able to get pregnant and have children because he always stressed me out all the time. And what else? He would frustrate me a lot. He will make me angry a lot. This person was very draining, like drained the soul and the spirit out of me, like just consumed all of me. And then once he discarded me, or no, once I discarded him because I just got tired of the abuse. He put his hands on me. I called the cops on him. He ran. So technically I discarded him. But his mother put me out on the street and he let her do it. He was aware, so he was a part of this too, but he claimed he didn't know. No, he knew what was happening. So they discarded me after I discarded him. But after the discard, right, I felt empty because I didn't know who the heck I was. All I knew is that I was a wife to him for the last 15 years, and I was a mom to the 2 children that him and I conceived together, and I was a mother to my oldest son. That's all I knew. But even with being a wife and a mom, I still didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, after the discard, I was completely like discombobulated in a way that I had to find out who I was again. I had to find me again. I had to soul search for me again because 15 years of being consumed by a person who takes up all of my space, time, and energy, money, resources, my finances, my life, my relationships, my career options, my educational options, everything. This man consumed everything that I could have had in my life. So after the discard, I was completely lost. I was completely confused and didn't know who the heck I was. I had to find me again. Like I had to literally go on a scavenger hunt for me, for my personality, for my soul, for my spirit, for the core essence of me. I had to dig deep within myself and find me. And it took a lot of me communicating with the Most High and having the Most High deposit small pieces of me into me again because I didn't know who I was. When you're consumed by a person of this caliber, you have to honestly have courage to say, you know what, enough is enough. You're not going to keep consuming me anymore. And you have to have the courage to walk away. You have to have the courage to discard before they discard you. You have to have that, because if you don't, you will die inside. You know what I mean? Like, you won't die a physical death, but you will die a spiritual death. You will die a soul death. You will literally become an empty shell of yourself. And to be quite honest with you all, I don't wish this on anybody. I don't even wish this on my worst enemies. And they are my worst enemies. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't even wish this stuff on my ex-husband's family. And they are my worst enemies. And I don't even wish this on my ex-husband, and he's my worst enemy. You know what I mean? I just think at the end of the day, going through this experience has taught me something. It has taught me to be stronger, of course, but it has taught me to not take crap from the next person. It has taught me to withstand my ground, to love me, to put me first. Well, put the Most High first, put God first, and put myself second, and then whoever I end up in a relationship with, they got to come third. You understand? Like, when you don't know to put yourself before the other person, it's easy, especially if this person is a narcissist, it's easy for them to take over and completely just wipe you out, suck you dry, wipe you clean, suck all of the inner core you out of you. They're like Tasmanian devils. They're like human vacuum cleaners. They're like the HVACs. They just take up and suck up everything, and don't say thank you, and don't appreciate, and they don't care really. You know what I mean? It's like they have this entitled mindset that all what they have done to you, they were supposed to be able to do that to you, and that whatever they took from you, they were supposed to be able to take from you, or whatever it is that belonged to you that they took from you, it belonged to them and not you. That's the sick, twisted mindset that they have. They isolate you. They take everything from you. They take little bits of you away from you, just little bits at a time. And they do this so that you don't recognize what they're doing. They don't do it all at once. They do it little by little. And the more time you give them, the more they gonna keep taking. And if you ain't catching on, then this is their advantage, because they just gonna keep on keeping on until they get to the point where there's no more left of you to take, or until you get to the point where you start to realize what's happening, and you put your foot down and you put a stop to it. They're energy vampires. They suck the life source out of you. They rob you of the essence of you. They rob you of you. And they have the nerve to have an entitlement feeling about it. And they have no empathy. They lack empathy. They don't even comprehend it. These entities that they deal with control them. So these entities just have them running amok, in cities and towns, and just destroying cities and towns. Like I said in my previous video, narcissists, they're like tornadoes destroying cities. They're here to take, they're here to kill, steal, and destroy, just like Satan himself, their father. And the thing about it is, this game ain't for weak people. So in order for you to go through this type of experience, you got to be a strong person to make it out. And to not only just make it out, but make it out alive. And when I say make it out alive, I'm not talking about a physical death. I'm talking about a spiritual death. You got to make it out by the skin of your teeth, and you have to have that will deep within inside yourself to heal and to come back to the promised land, because if not, you die. And this is the thing. This is why this is for strong people and not weak people, because weak people end up committing suicide, you guys, in most cases. But yeah, just think about what I said. These narcs, they have sticky fingers. These narcs, they clean house. They wipe people out. And they don't care, and then they move on to the next person. But I want to encourage y'all to stay strong, stay prayed up, keep God first in your life, and peace and blessings to you all. And I see you all in the next video. Peace and blessings to you.